Okay. Right. The economy.
Yeah.
I'll run right through both of these and then we can take them in the two.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think you'll take the first one and run with it.
Yeah.
So, debt. In 2002, UK debt was 29% of GDP. It's now more like 60%, projected to rise to 1.4 trillion, about £50,000 a family. The same as the entire GDP. The interest payments alone would fund the entire education system. So the first question is, what level of debt do you consider reasonable? And why? And then the follow-up to that is, it's widely suggested that public spending needs to be cut, or taxes raised, by at least 50 billion per annum to get the debt under control. Bearing in mind the entire defence budget is only 40 billion, fuel duties raise only 25 billion, what major areas of expense would you axe, or what taxes would you massively increase?
Okay.
So,
firstly, in terms
of... short one first,
yeah.
and then you can take the second one, and there's the...
All right.
Official government.
That's great. There's no problem. All right. When we're talking about the economy, our debt, and what we do to tackle that, and how we grow the economy in the future, I'll just talk for a moment about the historical context of this. In the 400 years in this country that we've been measuring our economic growth and our debt, there have only been two 40-year periods in that entire 400-year history, one of which we're in now, incidentally, where the nation's debt has been less than 80% of GDP. And I'm not saying debt is a good thing. It's not. It's a bad thing. And I'll come on to how we tackle that in a moment. But only two 40-year periods when it's been below 80%, one of which we're in now, started, I think, in the 1970s. But in that time, when our debt was higher, we had a Commonwealth, we fought wars, we had big armies, we built the railways, we built the welfare state, we built the NHS. That's quite interesting. But I think what we need now is growth in the economy, but we need to tackle our debt as well. And the government's commitment is actually to reduce the debt by half over the course of 4 years. And there's three ways that you can do that. You can cut public spending. And I think it's right to cut public spending in those areas that are not big priorities. So you protect the health budget. We've seen that grow massively. It's trebled over the last decade. I think it's important that we protect our healthcare and bring in some of those new targets as well, some of those new commitments to you, which I was talking about earlier. We need to protect schools funding, and we need to protect the policing budget as well, so we keep police on the beat and we continue to reduce crime. Other areas will have their budgets reduced and they will have to make savings. So that's one area, reducing spending in government departments. Another area, as Ian, you rightly said, is to raise taxes. And we're doing that as well. We're raising national insurance by 1% if you earn over £20,000, something that the Tories are refusing to do. They're saying we need to repay the national debt faster than Labour, faster than halving it over the course of 4 years. And yet, over the course of those 4 years, they want to take 30 billion of the repayments that we're talking about out by not implementing that 1% increase in national insurance.
May I just ask you to concentrate on what you would be...
I am, yeah. I'm saying we will implement that increase in national insurance. You've got to do it. You've got to raise that £6 billion a year, partly if you want to continue that investment in schools and hospitals and police. But the other thing that we need to do is ensure that we raise taxes in a fair way. And I think it's fair and right that those with the broadest shoulders pay a bigger proportion here, which is why we haven't got any plans to increase VAT, which would affect pensioners and the likes the most. But what we are going to do is introduce a new top rate of tax, 50p top rate of tax, for those earning £150,000 a year or more. But there is a third way to pay back debt as well, which I think is the most important one. I think Gloucester's a good example of this as well. You do that through economic growth, you do that through jobs, you do that through making sure that we're not paying benefits for people being off work, one of the key dangers of the Tory policy, as Professor Blanchflower, one of the members of the Monetary Policy Commission, said the other day, is that unemployment could balloon to 5 million. If you've got unemployment of 5 million, you're paying benefits to people, you end up in larger debt. So we've got to keep investment going into job creation. And let me talk about an example of that here in Gloucester. There is a project called Gloucester Works. £4 million I helped to get off of government to fund the Gloucester Works project. Hundreds of local people have benefited from Gloucester Works pairing up local people that live in the city, particularly in the most deprived wards, the Bartons of this world and the Matsons of this world, where on the indices unemployment is higher, getting them into the new local jobs that have been created in, for example, the docks. I did the deal to create the new college there. Part of that, we've had lots of construction jobs in the retail centre that was been developed, but now the retail centre is open, over 1,000 new retail jobs, and the supply chain jobs as well to add to that. Now ensuring that those, and the new Sainsbury's jobs in the docks as well, and other jobs go to local people through projects like Gloucester Works, has reduced unemployment. Even at a time of recession, we've seen unemployment going down many months during the course of a recession. Now, if you compare back to the last Conservative recession of 1992, unemployment here in the city of Gloucester was 45% higher. It was touching 6,000 people. It's nearer 4,000 now, still too high. But this is why it's ever so important that, as well as cutting expenditure that's unnecessary to government departments is important, raising taxes, particularly on those with the broadest shoulders, is very important. But thirdly, ensuring that there is growth and jobs that are being created. A combination of those things can help us repay that debt and pay it back quickly and do it steadily, but do it in a way that ensures that our recovery continues and that we don't end up back in a double dip recession. I'm sure you've got some follow-ons on that, Willie, and I'm happy to take it. Okay.
That's the lot.
All right. Good.
The idea is to let you all walk in your own words.
Okay. I hope that was